You are listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole. My co-host Ray Jeezy's out. We are part of Amplifier Media. That's amplifiermedia.com. You can also check us out at www.urbansportscene.com. Glad you all tuned in, man. We got a dope show, bunch of guests. So let me dive into our particulars. So before we get to our guests, hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel as well. If you are watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button. We cracked 700. Now we trying to get to 800. You know what I'm saying? Baby steps. So if y'all on YouTube, subscribe and get us to 800. Do not forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also, join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Host of the Breaking Command podcast, DH and Dee-Middy, will join me to debate whether Jahan Dotson is comparable to Brandon Aiyuk. Then finally, around 8:50-ish, Washington Wizards reporter Troy Haliburton will join me to talk about the Wizards signing Jonas Valanciunas. The Wizards signed Jonas Valanciunas, the big center, the big vet. So we'll talk about that later on at 8:50. But real quick, let me introduce my guest. Right now, I got host from the Breaking Command podcast, Dee-Middy and DH with me. What is going on, fellas?
Good evening, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's that football off season when you're just trying to find stuff to talk about. I like to be real candid and real with our listeners. You know what I'm saying? So Aiyuk been bringing a lot of smoke. So I kind of like, let me tie this Aiyuk thing with somebody who I think could be in their feelings about it. If I was him, I think I'd be in my feelings. So I like to put myself in the player's perspective.
Hey, as a smart media member, you're following along the right train right now. Everybody about it. You might as well put your 2 cents in. So
right?
Wrong with it, man.
I know, right? It's what I've been talking about him for like the last couple of weeks, but he's the news that keeps on going. Like he won't stop. Like I want to talk about something else, but he won't stop. He won't stop. Like
he's definitely keeping it going.
Yeah, he's like doing that. He's like Candyman. He's mentioning the Commanders' names about a couple of times before he hoped they appear. Like he hoping for it.
Not Candyman though.
Yeah, he is, man. Everywhere. Commanders this. Like you on the pivot, you mention the Commanders. I'm like, dang, bro. I know. Come on, man. You don't gotta mention their name. Like, we know you want to come here. We know.
Hey man, just Jaden Daniels being that whole interview was wild for me, bro. Because I was like, they don't hardly do stuff like that, like introduce the people in the background.
What? It's a lot. That's a lot going on, man. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like they showing, like they on social media showing, like they don't want me, and like there's a lot going on, bro. Like everything's calculated. Nobody's stupid. That's how I look at it. No one's stupid.
And the whole process has me asking a bunch of questions because I was curious as this stuff is starting to go out. It's like it's to his own detriment. Like, is he hurting himself by putting himself out there by not just, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes a lot of things when your play speaks for itself, everything kind of work itself out. And like, is he hurting himself by talking too much about it, by trying to get out ahead of some of these narratives, or could he just sit back and just trust that if San Fran don't pay him, he's gonna get paid?
Exactly.
There's 31 other teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? But if San Fran don't pay him, he's gonna get paid. So I don't know if the talk he's doing right now is to his detriment or if it's benefiting him or not.
I think it's to his. I mean, I kind of think it's to his detriment. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? E, appreciate you, my man. I think it is, but because I feel like anytime, to your point, like we know what you are as a football player, and still the Niners still hold your contract, so they still got power. Like unless you hold out, and you make it sound like you're going to play. So, I mean,
but I also too, Wale, I think it's a glaring difference between the NFL and the NBA, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna have the Wizards report on later.
Yeah.
We'll talk basketball for a quick second.
Yeah.
Contracts that are being divvied out, man. Guys getting generational type money in the NBA. Like, NBA, you can take a 6th, 7th, 8th guy is making more than guys in the NFL that start.
Yeah.
I mean, And then it's funny too how the NFL is just every team cries broke. Like, granted, your quarterback is going to take up a lot of your salary cap, and then as it continues to go up, quarterbacks right now taking up sometimes 20-25% of the salary cap. And it does create a dilemma in the NFL is that, by having a 53, 54 man roster with a minimal cap number, and some of these positions are going to get paid. Some teams truly, you can afford it, but they have to get creative with doing that. And I think you have to look at those teams that are able to continue to pay guys and are still able to win. They have to figure out a way to do it. And I think for San Francisco, it'd be advantageous for them to pay him. But they should have plenty suitors to get them to get something for Brandon Aiyuk.
And we all know that, like,
do you think
we all know Kyle is very arrogant, and Kyle is very confident in himself. I don't want to use arrogant, but Kyle is very confident in his system and what he can do with receivers. He's very confident, just like how he feels about running backs. He's very confident in that way about receivers.
Just like his dad.
Say what would you say?
Just like his dad.
Just like his dad. Exactly. Just like his dad.
Davis late. Taking a flyer on Portis in the second round.
Yeah.
Gary, Mike Anderson, guys that weren't
Terrell Davis. Davis. Yep.
Being able to just plug and play. And that doesn't help. It helps the player, but to the coach and to the GM, they're like, look, if we able to plug and play with these guys, man, we could just get somebody in, which is why I don't think it's a sure thing for Brock Purdy to actually be there after this. And I know we jumping ahead.
No, you good.
I just don't think it's a foregone conclusion for him to be there, because based on what he's done, they can be like, look, we let somebody else go pay him the close to $60 million that it's gonna cost next year when that comes around again. So I think with his system, like you said, they're very arrogant and just feel like they can plug and play guys.
Yeah. So let me get into go ahead, Dee-Middy, go ahead. What you about to say?
Do y'all think the salary cap is like an illusion to a certain extent, where it's like they put numbers out there, but it's really a lot of other things that go in, like as far as
I think everything is, to that point. I think everything is about the level of your play and who you are. I don't think you're a salary cap. There's not a salary cap issue if you like Justin Jefferson. There's not a salary cap issue. Now, if you're a player that somebody may deem you a system player that you're putting up numbers, though, then there's a salary cap issue. Because then now it's like, other than running back, right? Like, running back, there's a salary cap issue because they don't want to pay the running back. But then you see at San Fran, they're still outliers to that. Like Christian McCaffrey, they're willing to break the bag for Christian McCaffrey, right? Because he's so valuable to their offense. So I do think that if depending on the talent, if you are the best, or you're like, say, if you're a running back, if you're like you're generational. If you're generational, they'll ignore the salary cap. But I do think that it's up to the player. But so what DH is talking about, like Brock Purdy, the Niners will look at him like he's a system dude. Like, that's just what it is. Brandon Aiyuk, as though he's putting up numbers, I'm sure Kyle is saying, like, I can probably, that's why they drafted a receiver early, the kid from Florida. Like, I'm sure Kyle is saying, like, you're good, but I think I can still get somebody to put up that same production. There's a reason why Debo ain't walking out that building, because Debo is different. He brings a lot more to the table in terms of not just as a receiver, but as a running back, as a guy who can own trick plays. Debo is such a mismatch, so that's something that Kyle values probably more than he does Brandon Aiyuk.
And football is one of those sports, man, where it's like it's really what have you done for me lately in football. But Aiyuk would say that he's done a lot lately.
He has, though.
And it shouldn't be no discussion. But I think and we started a couple years ago when Terry first got paid, right?
Yeah,
that was started a wave of guys. The cap or the number for receivers started to adjust, where that number slowly starting to go up. The same way those quarterback numbers adjust every year, and it really takes a team to say, all right, I know he's good, but is he this type of money good? You know what I'm saying? It's not like the NBA where you have to spend, you know what I mean? It's like they got to figure out, because you don't want to end up with, and that was the discussion I heard on the radio today. We're talking about Daniel Jones, where at the point you needed a quarterback. You wanted to keep your quarterback, but $40 million a year, like, is that like, hello? Like, nobody wants to pay that for Daniel Jones. So it's like you find yourself in a situation where if you're having to pay a lot of money for a mid-level guy, that's a tough decision. But Aiyuk, in my opinion, is worth it in that type of offense. Even with the production he still had with that offense, when there are so many other footballs that have to go around, he's still able to produce in that offense. I feel like it showed that, what else could he do with a bigger time quarterback or a different type of offense that's going to be more pass heavy, that may have him as the X, you know what I'm saying? That may focus on him a little more. Like, how much better would he be to an offense, to a team?
My man Marcus said, in terms of running backs, he said Gibbs is going to get a bag unless he gets hurt. Gibbs for Detroit. I think he Gibbs from the Lions.
Yeah, Jamar Gibbs.
Yeah. He could. Yeah. I like him a lot. I mean, I like him in Bama. I like him a lot. He could.
Yeah, he can do multiple things. He can catch out the backfield. He's a good blocker. Like the Midgett, man, I didn't believe people was as high on him coming out the draft as they were, and I wasn't saying as high, but I knew he could go into a good system though and be a good player.
No, I agree. I think he's definitely talented. So let's get into the topic in terms of, we talked about Aiyuk initially. Obviously, I mentioned that a lot of smoke with Brandon Aiyuk coming to with the Commanders, just because of his relationship with Jaden Daniels. So first off, what are you like? I guess I want to get your feelings about them being linked to Brandon Aiyuk. I'm gonna start with you, Dee-Middy.
Honestly, man, I think it's too good of a fit for it to happen. And when I say that, it's because of that connection with Jaden Daniels. And if you can pull that move off and you still have Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin, it's too good of a situation for it to happen. Because to me, Aiyuk is a better route runner than Jahan Dotson. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that might take away some snaps from Jahan. And then you're talking about De'Ami Brown, who had a hard time getting on the field, who I feel like he just, keep having a hard time finding his way, So it's sort of a fit to put Brandon Aiyuk beside Terry McLaurin and still have Jahan Dotson, and you have that two-headed monster in the backfield.
Okay. DH, what are your thoughts? Is it like, how is this whole thing? Is it annoying you? Are you for it? You like it? What is it?
It's not annoying. I think more or less I kind of want to see Jaden Daniels play ball, right?
I'm with you on that, bro.
There's been a lot of talk, and I'm not even shading him. I mean, I got
I know what you're saying, though. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is not shade. I know what you're talking
about. But I kind of want to see him play some ball. Like, because I feel like for the way they're trying to influence this, where that's going to be his guy. I'm like, he hasn't taken a snap yet, so it's like a foregone conclusion that he's just going to be out. And I would love to see that, right? But I feel like he has to take some snaps first, and he has to get in rhythm and play some football before he can start calling those shots. I will say, it's going along tampering lines the way kind of that they.
I feel like it on the low, but somebody was arguing with me. I was like, it's close.
Yeah, very close.
It's close.
But I get it. It's done all the time. So it's cool, and that's your boy. I mean, if you get the opportunity to play with your guy, you want to play with your guy. But I will say this in comparison to Aiyuk and Dotson, I feel like once we get a consistent type offense, I think this year would be the offense. This would be the year to see how Jahan will flourish in a pro passing type offense where they're going to spread the ball out. He's going to get a few more opportunities. Hopefully a little bit more consistent quarterback play with better O-line protection. He might be Brandon Aiyuk, you know what I'm saying? And you got him for another 2 years before you even have to pay him. You know what I mean? So this may be advantageous for them to hold on and hang on to him and just really see what he can do. And then it also goes back to that other discussion about paying guys. If you look at most teams, you're not going to pay multiple. You're not going to be able to pay multiple. You're not going to be able to pay two receivers $30 million a year.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, so what does that mean for Terry if we make a move to get Aiyuk? What's that going to mean for Terry? So it's like it's just those decisions and stuff that has to be made. Like, it sounds good. Brandon play with his homeboy, but I don't think it's going to happen personally unless he say, "Yeah, I'll take a 1-year flyer deal just to play him."
He ain't doing that. That man with the bag. That man.
Happening.
Yeah. Would you say Dee-Middy?
But you got, I mean, he hit on some solid points, especially at one point about paying two receivers. Like they're already paying two D linemen top tier money. So you can't have that money like that in the NFL. And then that'll really be a situation where the cap is really either non-existent or an imagination, because how are you going to have four top tier players making that much money? Because Aiyuk is going. The reason why this is going on because he wants a long term deal. It's not even. I don't even really think it's about the actual money. I think it's about him wanting the long term, and he wants that spread out. So that makes sense.
Now, with that point too, right? And I'm as we're talking this through, I'm kind of just rebutting some of my own thoughts. Now, you're in a situation where if you had to pay two receivers for 2 years, 30 mil, you can, because you don't have to pay Jaden Daniels for another couple of seasons.
Oh, okay.
So like it may work out if you get into that situation. Terry's getting a little older, long in the tooth. I feel like he's gonna
play. He there already. We talking about Terry that way, long in the tooth. That's what we talking. That's how we talking about Terry already.
29 is only 4 years, man. You know what I mean?
That's damn. We call him 29. Oh, now you making me feel old, bro. Don't do that to me. Hey, I'm 43. Dang, what you dang? Damn, I'm old as dirt, man.
On Urban Sports right now.
What'd you say, DH?
The combined age on Urban Sports right now is between the three of us. Okay, we're old. Okay, 4 years. You know what I mean? Terry's getting a little older, right? But
yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
This could be the situation where if you had to pay two guys big time money, you could do it because you don't have to pay your quarterback for a couple seasons. You can work it out. And then at the end of the day, with this regime, with this ownership group, you better be trying to do everything you can to get the best players in the building to win, because you need to turn it around quickly. And you do like what the Rams did. The Rams paid for a Super Bowl, and then they drafted well after that. Now they back in the mix. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but you got to do your best to get whoever you can, and if it means you can get a top player in the building, you got to do it.
Would it be a situation where you can see that team trading? I don't want to say his name, but his name came to mind, Jahan Dotson or John Allen. Do you see that being a situation to get Aiyuk in the building?
I think the Niners already got enough on the D line. They don't need them. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, you use it as a piece if you can, but I feel like you said, they got enough on there.
I think you wanna swamp out a wide receiver for a wide receiver. You're gonna lose a outside weapon. If you value Aiyuk, if I'm the Niners, I'm asking for like a player like Jahan, because I do think that I'm pretty high on Jahan. Personally, I'm pretty high on him. So I do think that. I mean, when I saw his rookie year, I was very impressed. Like, I thought that what he did his rookie year in limited games because of injury and whatnot, that to me showed me that what he could do. He's a special talent. It's unfortunate he hasn't had like consistent quarterback play, or a consistent offensive system where he can like flourish in an offense like the other individuals are. Just like how we talk about Terry, Jahan is in the same situation. So I feel like when he puts up the numbers he puts up, and people got it. Yeah, he had a bad sophomore year. New system, obviously, he hasn't dropped passes, but that to me isn't the makeup of a Jahan Dotson. So it goes to my the topic, the discussion, with pretty much what your show is pretty much based on. Like the topic of the show is like, a lot of fans now, they want to see like Aiyuk replace Jahan Dotson. Like basically that's what it is, right? They want to see Aiyuk if he comes here, and would I do that deal? Like personally, I wouldn't do that deal. Right, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't do that deal because one, like we all talked about, like you're paying Terry the bag, and also you got Terry on. Truth be told, Terry, what you're paying Terry is pretty much a bargain nowadays in terms of wide receivers. So then you're gonna have to overpay Aiyuk over Terry, and I honestly don't. To me, I don't think Aiyuk's better than Terry. You know what I mean? You put Terry and San Fran in that system, Terry's gonna put him pretty much put better numbers. I think put better numbers than Aiyuk. Again, Terry's putting up these numbers with bad quarterback play. He's an 1,000-yard receiver with bad quarterback play consistently. You know what I mean? Like Aiyuk is like I don't believe in Purdy, but in that system he looks elite, right? So we all can say like in that system he looks elite. And then also it's hard like when you're with Terry McLaurin or whoever, like you were pretty much you're the team. Like defense are focused on stopping you. You can't focus this on when you're in San Francisco. Aiyuk is basically playing 1-on-1 because you got so many. You got to worry about Kittle. You got to worry about obviously Christian McCaffrey. You got to worry about Debo on trick plays. So Aiyuk can get a lot more freedom. In DC, it's a little different when you're the man. We all seen that. When you're the man, it's different. It's different. So watching Jahan and just going back to Jahan, not talking about Terry. To me, Jahan, his route running to me, I don't think. I mean, I don't want. I'm not gonna act like I watched a bunch of Niner games. I've seen Aiyuk enough, and to me, Kyle schemes a lot of people open anyway with that play action game. But Jahan, when his route running is elite to me, not good. It's elite to me, and to me, his issue with his. So go ahead, go ahead. Dee-Middy.
No, I was saying something earlier about the route running thing, but what I think where you're going with it is that you would rather see Jahan flourish in this offense and win rather than bring in Aiyuk.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do the same thing. But I will say this: when it comes to route running and Brandon Aiyuk,
yeah,
he's elite when it comes to that breaking off his stem, and he's elite at getting on the line. Now, Jahan, to me, not all the time, but he has some issues with certain cornerbacks getting off the line.
I know physical play. Yeah, physical play.
I do it.
He definitely have a play. But there's also elements of when it comes to Jahan, like when you put him in the slot, like there's not that rookie year was special. I don't like to go off his sophomore year because he's sophomore slump, but that rookie year he was beating some top tier corners. Like he was personally beating some top tier to a point that a lot of people thought, yo, he could be better than Terry. That's how good he looked.
Hey, look, man. A lot of people have bad sophomore years.
Exactly.
I failed 2 classes in the 10th grade. Okay, so I understand.
There you go, bro. My sophomore year in college was the worst. I had to change majors. I almost got kicked out of school for my sophomore year just because how bad my sophomore year was in college.
And you turned out all right. You know, but I said you turned out all right.
I think I'm fine. Yeah, I think I'm fine.
Look, Jahan Dotson will account for 1.61% of our cap this season. 1.61%, man. A very small, minute number, which I feel like just on a principle, on a pick like that, that's only going into his 3rd season. I mean, as a team, you'd be doing disservice if you don't see that through and really try to do it. Unless you know it's gonna take him to make an Aiyuk deal happen that you really want to do it. Cool. Yeah. But I think, man, we got so much young talent that I think now, you know, they'll be a little more solidified. They really have like an identity. I think what's really going to help the passing game is our running game. Yeah. I mean, Eckler and Robinson, I think we'll be a little bit more explosive in the pass game because we'll be explosive in the run game. Allow those guys to get off. And then the plays to the tight end, man, I think that's going to keep the middle of the field on lock, man. When you got, you know, Zach Ertz going to the middle of the field, maybe a young Cole Turner steps in and plays well, and then Ben Sinnott will be able to make some plays. So you kind of look at it, the edge, these guys will be able to make some moves on the edge and really have an opportunity to play good ball this year. And I just really think that, and I think that's why nothing has been done yet, because I feel like the Commanders is looking at it like, man, we really want to see this through. We really want to take this chance with our guys now. And then on top of that, if it all falls through, they'll pay him a free agent contract. They'll be in the mix.
Yeah, exactly.
If for somehow he does, you know, ends up being a free agent, you know, not being tagged or whatever, like they'll be in the mix for it then. But I feel like which is still kind of, we're still flipping the organization, still kind of rebuilding or retooling, if you will. So I feel like those picks that we have right now are like gold to us because we still retool for the future, which is why I don't think they will do any types of moves to get them. But I could be wrong. But I don't think they'll do any types of moves to go get them.
No, I don't think they'll do any moves because of just what my man Taj put out there. So receivers is becoming too expensive and deep and a deep position in the draft to pay two receivers top money. He's right. Like receivers nowadays, the receivers are coming out of the NFL draft are guys who can produce almost now.
Bruh. And they're getting lucky on having some of these guys on their rookie deals.
Yeah.
It's that second contract, man. If the guys can get to the second contract, they're good to go. Go ahead, Dee-Middy, my bad.
Oh no, just adding to what you're saying. They lucky to get him on Ricky deals, and they're getting him at later round.
Mm-hmm. My man Eric said, "I wouldn't sacrifice Dotson for Aiyuk. I kind of wouldn't either. Because of the
I'm
money.
with y'all.
Yeah, huh? What'd you say?
I'm with y'all on that. I'm not
Yeah,
sacrificing Johnson.
yeah. I just feel like I just think there's still a lot on the table for Dotson. I don't think the best of Dotson's come out yet. My man DJ said, "Not you guys. Sorry, do you guys feel that Brandon is missing the bigger picture due to him looking to get it all now? Do you feel like that, Dee-Middy?"
Rephrase that question.
Let me go back. So I think he's saying, like, do you guys feel that Brandon is missing the bigger picture due to him looking to get it all now?
I mean, what's the?
I guess he's talking bigger picture in terms of being on a winner. I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing being on a winner.
Because look at the situation. Look at the situations he's going to. He's either going to stay in San Francisco, what he said on the pivot. He's either going to stay in San Fran, Washington, or Pittsburgh, which are teams he has opportunity to win on. So I don't think he's overlooking the big picture.
I'm gonna say something what my man Da said early. I think it's hard. First, I mean, for us to stay where we got to see how it looks on Sundays, right? To say we're gonna be winners. That's the one thing. We got to see how we look on Sundays. I think we're happy in terms of the change, right? We are happy. Like we got grown-ups running this team now within the coaching staff. We got grown-ups in the building. But it is something that DA said I do kind of want to peg on and like really hold on. Like, folks, the only reason that people are talking about bringing that Brandon Aiyuk is because of the quarterback. That's the only reason why people are talking about it. Let's keep it a buck, right? So, but also like, so your quarterback still has to show that he's warrant this type of thought process, though. You know what I'm saying? Because the quarterback doesn't pan, and not to say he won't pan out. I think we all believe that he will pan out, right? I think we all could say we believe he'll pan out, but there's a chance that he may not pan out. That's the NFL. So he doesn't pan out. Now we're putting all of this onus on a dude that's not panning out, saying we got to get guys we got to get a receiver for him just because that's his best friend. Not even about, I mean, he plays well, but not even about anything. The only reason why we talk about him is because he's his best friend. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's why fans talk about it, is because that's his best friend.
Because if he's him,
yeah,
he make De'Ami Brown good.
There you go. You get my point. Yeah,
make Jahan Dotson good. If he's him, everybody around him should flourish.
Yeah,
and we won't be wasting money.
If he's him. That is true. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And I think, and also too, right? Like, and there's no shade to Brandon Aiyuk, but I think their receivers, like Randy Moss, right, is a receiver. Yes. You know, Justin Jefferson is a dude.
Yes.
You know, they have guys that are dude. I don't know if Brandon Aiyuk are one of those type of guys yet.
I can answer your question. I can answer that question. He's not. Not to be mean, he's not. Like, there are guys, like, he's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's
not, you know what I'm saying? He's not him. Like,
yeah, like I love Terry, but Terry's not one of them. Like, right, he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love Terry, but he's not one of them. Like, Brandon, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you pay to, all right, them dudes that you're talking about, that's who you pay. That's who you pay.
Regardless, like, you pay them guys. That's why Justin Jefferson got that big deal this summer.
Yeah, you pay them guys. Like, we talk about Terry and like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I brought Terry in discussion. You may not be better than Terry. So if you're not better than Terry, why do I have to pay you more than Terry? No, that's not how that's not how you run your organization. When you got a younger receiver on a rookie deal who has a lot of potential, because you've seen it his rookie year, and maybe he had a sophomore slump. I can pay. I don't have to pay him the bag. I still can get him on the cheap, and if he plays to his potential, I got two dogs.
And let's say, who's to say that this situation would be completely different from the situation he already in?
Yeah.
Okay. The ball got to go to Terry, Jahan, Luke McCaffrey, Eckler, Brian Robinson, those three tight ends we mentioned. He might be going back into the same situation where when the balls come to him, he flourishes, right? But the type of money that he wants, like, he wants wide receiver one money, not get it.
Yeah, that's
he may not be going to a situation where he's gonna be wide receiver one. Like, most of those guys end up on bad teams, right?
Yeah,
or end up on teams where, like, let's say if he went to I'm trying to think of some teams that maybe like hungry. Like, what if he ended up with the
Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, Panthers, or what if he ended up with the Patriots? You know what I'm saying? Teams that are starving for a
receiver,
one receiver, right? That's like I would understand that, but him coming to us, or even him swapping places with Jahan, he may be in the same situation where he get 1,100 yards receiving, he still may get a bunch of passes, but just like he said on the pivot, there was some times where he would feel like he was doing his all, but he wasn't getting the looks the same way in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that may be more the same situation, even though his guys at quarterback, but I mean, wouldn't be number one receiver here in Washington. To get number one money, he needs to go somewhere where he can truly be a number one receiver, getting 120 targets a year, getting 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns. That's what he's looking for.
Todd said, plus I believe the locker room dynamic could be thrown off if you bring in Brandon because of his relationship with Jaden Daniels. Could be some friction with other receivers. I totally agree. I do think there's a dynamic there where if you come in a situation that everybody can say, oh, this is your boy, you're going to favor him over me, especially if you're talking about a guy like, we all see the fan base. When Terry don't get the touches, people get mad. Fans get mad. So I'm going to keep like Terry, and I don't care if it's IU. Fans be pissed off if Terry don't get touches. And if it's Brandon Aiyuk, they ain't going to be like, well, Brandon Aiyuk better. They ain't going to be like that. They're going to be like, nah, bro, Terry open. They'll cut up clips. They'll cut up clips and show you Terry was open.
Terry got mad one time and said, man, I was out there running cardio.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm just keeping the buck. Like, and point. There could be some of that friction.
And all the great receivers want the football. Why they know that they can't get the ball every snap. All the great receivers want the football, and they feel like they can make the most impact on the game when the ball is in their hands. Right? Another guy that's super close with the quarterback, like they said, it may throw some friction into it because it may feel like you forcing him the ball. Why are we trying to get him? You know what I mean? Like it could be, like we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it could be, which is why I'm really wishing this discussion was next season, right? Because we would have had a year of Jaden Daniels playing, right? And we could kind of say maybe he does need another weapon to throw to, or maybe he we kind of have something to go with. But I think truly all this is going to be predicated on how this quarterback plays, man. We're just and I'm kind of slow to really push it because everybody's assuming that he's going to have a CJ Stroud type year. When he could have man, the quarterback from Alabama type year. Like he should have that year. We don't know yet. I'm hoping it's CJ Stroud type year, but we don't know yet. So it's just, I mean, it's all up in the air, man. I think where we are right now, we're good.
Yeah.
Adding Aiyuk would be a great weapon, but I don't think it's a necessary weapon that we need.
I don't think it's necessary. But I do want to your point, though, the CJ Stroud thing, I feel like they're putting too much pressure. That's the one thing I don't want the fan base to do, to put pressure on Jaden Daniels to be like, you're going to have a CJ Stroud year. That's why I'm kind of getting annoyed when I hear these people on TV saying like he's gonna have a great year off the rip. And I'm like, that is not typical of a rookie quarterback.
CJ didn't even have that pressure. Nobody.
Yeah, because no one was talking about CJ. You know what I mean? Like you're putting too much pressure on him to change a team that didn't make the postseason last year, wasn't even close. Who was the second? They were the second worst team in the NFL for a reason. You know what I mean? Like you're putting so much. That's a lot of pressure to put on a young man to be the savior. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I don't even think like RG3 didn't even have that pressure coming in. You know what I'm saying? And to me, arguably, I thought RG3's college career was better than CJ Stroud. So I'm just saying, CJ Stroud, then Jaden Daniels. His whole college career was better than Jaden Daniels. So it's like, we don't need to do that to this kid. Like, let this kid play. Like, let him play. Stop saying he's going to take the league by storm. I hope he does. I'm just saying, but let him play. Let him play. And then we'll see what happens out of that. My man George said, Daniels can nip those worries in the bud by being mature and spreading the ball around like a quarterback is supposed to in a Kingsbury offense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he should be that way, but we don't know how the NFL pressure is. It's not college. Like, that's one thing I want folks to know. This is not college. Just because you're getting a guy who has all the tools in the world doesn't mean he's going to translate automatically. Rookies rookies struggle. Typically, rookies struggle their first year. You know, that's what typically happens. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at the money that my man for the Detroit Lions got. Like got what's his name? I'm having a moment. Huh?
St. Brown?
No, the quarterback.
Oh, Jared Goff?
Yeah, Jared Goff. Thank you. Look at Goff. If you remember Goff with the Rams his first year? Man, folks thought he was done. Look at Josh Allen. Look at how they talk about Josh Allen now. Remember when they was talking about his first 2 years? Oh, yeah, he's a bust. Now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? So I'm just saying, like, it's okay. Like, we got to stop putting all that pressure on him. Let him play and then see what happens.
Man, what I could have, and you use tools as a reference, and I love that point because I could have every tool in my garage to fix whatever I need in this house. And if I don't have the skills of carpentry or knowing how to build, I just have a bunch of, expensive steel in the garage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can have all the tools in the world. You got to know how to use them, which is why I kind of lean to I love those quarterbacks that are able to do a lot with less.
Yes.
Because they've been able to show their ability and show their talents. So it means that, if I can put up a wall with just a hammer and some nails, okay, how much better would I be with a drill? You know what I mean? How much better would I be with some drywall screws? You know what I mean? How much better would I be with a stud finder where I'm able to put it up properly? But if I'm able to put that wall up with just a hammer and some nails and it's able to look good and stand up straight, I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? So it's just really being able to find those quarterbacks and those players that can really thrive without. They used this example earlier, and I keep going back to this show. It was the show where LaShawn McCoy is on him and Deshaun.
Oh, him.
Well, and old girl Joy.
Joy, I forgot the name. What's the name of it? I know you're talking about though. I know. Yeah, I love me some Joy. So I know you're talking about.
So right, they were talking about Daniel Jones again, and they were talking about them losing Saquon didn't help him at all, right? Yeah. How you saw Hard Knocks where they, really made a decision about. That's why you got to pull up, man. You learn something here, man. You learn something here, George. Like they talk about weapons, right? It's being able to do what you can with your weapons. And how does that help Daniel Jones losing Saquon, who's been the only focal point of the Giants for the past few seasons? You know what I mean? A bone dog, give me a star. But you know what I mean? Like you gotta have the tools and you gotta have the weapons. And I think by the ownership and management saying, hey, look, we're gonna get a good young quarterback in here who has veteran leadership, who has young playmakers, and we'll have some a sustained offense that'll really use what he can do well. I think we'll be fine. But you gotta give the guys the tools and you gotta allow him to work with what he currently has to see if he needs more. You know what I mean?
I'm saying. So, all my question for you, my man. What you want to say, Dee-Middy? Oh no, I was going to say this is a question for you. So, do you think that like all this Aiyuk talk is going to motivate somebody like a Dotson to be like, all right, I know y'all been clamoring that there was a report out there by Adam Schefter that they did offer something to try to get Aiyuk. Do you feel like this is going to motivate him?
Man, I truly hope it motivates De'Ami Brown. But I know who is going to be motivated. Luke McCaffrey. You know what I mean? And, Jahan Dotson definitely motivated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Those that third, fourth, and fifth guy on the roster. Yeah, they're definitely looking at it like, oh, you got us here and you don't believe in us? Yeah, most definitely. That's
a good point. I do agree. I do think that everybody know I'm a fan of De'Ami. I mean, I'm not a quitter of De'Ami Brown like others. But yeah, I do think the individuals like De'Ami, Luke McCaffrey. Well, Luke McCaffrey's safe. I'm not gonna lie. McCaffrey, he's safe.
That whole locker room should be improvement mode, though. That whole locker room.
It should be though. That's true. That's true.
Improvement mode, because as this offseason should show you, nobody's safe. Right? You haven't done anything as a squad to feel like, oh, I'm good. I'm safe. I should be good. No, because with almost a 40% roster turnover from 1 year to this year, nobody should feel safe. Everybody should be fighting for their proverbial football lives this year. Everybody should come in motivated and want to win and want to do well and want to thrive, because, the same way those guys last year thought they were safe, now some of them out the league, some of them in other spots. You know what I mean? Everybody got to come in this year hungry and wanting better than what we previously had. And I think we'll get that from 1 to 53.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they all should be hungry. But if I'm I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Jahan, I mean I'm salty. Not like at them. I'm salty at anybody who thinks that I can't be better than Ayuk.
And he has a lot of confidence too. Like
He's a confident dude. Like, he's from last year.
So he's hearing all this.
Oh, definitely.
He hears all this. He's taking it all in, and he's gonna have a huge Ruffles size bag of chips on his shoulder because he's gonna feel like everybody's counting him out. Nobody believes in him when he get back to form. I believe as he did in year one.
I do think that, like, if anybody, because he is confident. He's a confident kid. That's what kind of tripped me out. They were dropping the ball so many times last year, but he is a confident kid though. Like, and he's a guy that like typically has great hands though. That's of anything. That's what he has, hands. Like, I just feel like it was like real mental. You know how it is. Like, there is a snowball effect when you struggle initially, and then you're just trying to get out of a rut. So you just put so much pressure on yourself to make like big plays, make the easy play the spectacular play. So I just think now, like, he gets to reset, play football again. I think this whole new change of staffs, this change of staff ownership, everything is going to be good for him because he's going to have like a new outlook on just playing football. Because I just think that kid is super talented. He runs like a 4.4. He runs great. He runs like really good, precise routes. I mean, obviously, to my man Dee-Middy's point, he's going to have to get a little stronger. That's time though. That's going to take time. That's his build. Some people have that build. Like, I'm not going to ask Tyreek Hill to beat press coverage. Like, that's not his thing. Like, he don't need to. But
run around you. That's it.
We run around you. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna have to find ways to get around it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like once he gets his hands off of you, you show. Like, once you can't put your hands on Jahan, you show. Like, there ain't nothing. You ain't beating that. You ain't beating that. Like, because he got basketball moves on it with his routes. Like, he's a basketball route runner. That's why I call it. Like, he got the twitch, and he got the like athletic twitch to kind of get open.
You know what, guys? I'll say this, and this goes back to wanting to see Jaden Daniels play. I think it's so much talk around the Commanders this season because we really don't know what we have. Like, we really don't know what type of ball we're going to play. It's all an unknown. We know Dan Quinn is a pretty solid coach. He went to Super Bowl. He's motivating. He's a fiery type guy. We know we got some smart guys up in the front office, got a ownership. But we really don't know what this team is. We don't really know what type of football we're going to play. We don't know what type of style. We don't know how this team is going to react in close situations. We don't know. Remember those games a couple years ago? We had a lot of one-score games where we lost. We don't know if this team can overcome those. We don't know if this team is going to be fiery. This team might come out and put up 30 every game. This team may be a dog fight. You know what I mean? So we kind of really don't know what this team is. And I think it's so much mystery around who we will be, which is why we're kind of in all these conversations, because there's a lot of conjecture, a lot of hey, well, maybe he'll be great, maybe he'll be that. But I just truly believe, like, because nobody knows what this team will be, so it's just a lot of talk right now. I think by week 4 we'll know who we are, and then we'll kind of be able to go from there. But I'm excited, man. I mean, I think it's 10 more Sundays away.
I know it's going fast. We're in July. This is training camp season for real. So it's about to be here. It's about to be here, man. Eric said Kingsbury scares me, to be honest. He scares me too. I won't lie. Like, he scares me too. He's not a guarantee to me. But we'll see about Kingsbury. He's not a guarantee to me though. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree to your point, DH. That like the offense, how we don't know. It's wild because it does give me. It's just a different regime because Kingsbury does scare me, just to Eric's point. But it does give me RG3 vibes because what I mean by that is, like, I didn't know what to expect with Griffin. Like, I didn't know what this offense was. I remember going to preseason games like, this dude he don't even look that. He all right, but he don't look special to me. And then all of a sudden that Saints game hit, first game of the season, like, oh my God, I wasn't ready. Like, I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying?
Man, they didn't show anything.
Yeah.
They came up one and put up 40, man. It was amazing time.
Yeah. So I'm like, to your point, we don't know. So that's why I have an open mind. Like, but I'm always for, like, I do want to see you play a different NFL. I want to see you compete in preseason. I don't care about what you do in camp. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because camp, you're practicing against somebody else that, like, knows what you do. It don't matter to me. That's why I don't get hyped for camp. But I do want to see you in scrimmages against another team. And also I want to see you in preseason and see how you look in preseason, how you compete against an opposition. I know it's vanilla, but I want to see how you compete, though.
They have joint practices this year, right?
Yeah, they will.
This
Is
with
it going to be the Ravens again?
Like 2 or
no,
3.
right?
It should be the Ravens again. They want to do it every year, right? That's what I thought. They wanted to do it almost every year. They want to.
They got one with the Dolphins before the preseason game, right?
Do
Okay.
they? Okay.
Okay.
That'd be good. I mean, I just want them to like. I want that. Like they need that smoke. They need that smoke. Like because that's how to me. That's how you know. Not know, but that's how you can gauge someone's competition level. Because everything's not going to be right. You know what I'm saying? Your offense, you may not have the right offense set up. You may not have the right play, the right place, the right line set up in terms of going against pressure. But it's how you like you compete in that situation. You know what I'm saying? That's what to me shows me, all right, you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not LSU. Because again, this is not LSU. Yeah, my man said. Todd said, yeah, joint practice with the Dolphins. Practices with the Dolphins. Because it's not gonna be like you're not gonna go in a situation where like LSU, you had two of the better receivers in your conference on your team. Like you're not going to have that situation, or probably the best offensive line in the SEC. You're not going to have that situation. This is now you're now going to be on a team that you got offensive weapons. Granted, you do got offensive weapons, but you ain't going to have you're not going to have all day in the pocket like you did. You know what I'm saying? Now, how are you maneuvering that? That's going to be your competitive mode. Like we see, that's why it's like different when we talk about like Lamar. Like Lamar's a little different beast. Like, you know, Lamar offensive line breaks down. You see that competitive level. Like Lamar, like, all right, well, I'm gonna make it do what it do anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's just different. So if he has that type of type of thing, then they watch this. They set. Shoot, even like a lot of people like hate on him now, but shoot, Griffin had that level. Like he had that level of competitiveness. Like if you watched him his rookie year, like there's a reason why he tried to get back in the game when he broke his, like he messed his knee up. Like he was competitive. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was the downfall of Griffin, but still he was competitive. So like, yeah, you want that, man. That's what you want out of your young quarterback. And that's what I want to see in preseason. Forget all that. I want to see like, yeah, I'm with you, DH, when you said like, it don't matter what receiver you bring in. If you him, you're going to make him look good. That's what you do. Shoot. Griffin had Anthony Armstrong look all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you want to compare to CJ Stroud, you can, right? So we saw what CJ Stroud did that first year, right? Okay, what they do? They went out and got Diggs. They went out, added some more. They added another running back. You know what I mean? So they said, hey, we saw what you did with the guys you have here, which is great. But now we're going to get some more pieces because we feel like you can do more. And we need you to get over the hump.
Yeah, man. So, he helped my man Nico Collins, man. He helped my man Nico Collins from Michigan. I will always be thankful for that Buckeye. You know, I hate Ohio State, but I'll be thankful for that Buckeye because he kind of saved my man Nico Collins' career. I appreciate CJ Stroud. Thank you, man. For you the real MVP for that one, dog. Like Nico now looks like a Pro Bowl wide receiver because of my man. Hey, Todd said this team has so many question marks and moving pieces starting with the coaches. Yeah, I agree. Like we can't. I just don't want to be talking in indefinites. I'm with you. I don't want to talk indefinites when it comes to anything. You know what I'm saying? That's why the same thing. Like you get a Brandon Aiyuk. I don't want to say like, yo, he come here, is he gonna put the same numbers he did in San Francisco? It's different. I don't care how. Yeah, off the pure talent, he's better than what's the name? Josh Purdy. Yes, he is better than Josh Purdy. But in that system, is he better than Josh Purdy in that system, though? In San Fran's system compared to Jaden Daniels in Washington's system? That's the question. That's what you have to ask yourself, which is totally different. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know.
I think he putting some dirt on that man Brock Purdy's name, and that he can play quarterback, dog. Like
he can play quarterback.
I'm a little higher on Brock Purdy than you are, bro.
Oh, that's what's up, man. No, he ain't that good. I'm sorry. I'm dirty. He ain't that good. But we gotta shut this segment down. But this has been dope, y'all. We gonna have y'all on back again. All right.
For sure, man. Looking forward to it, man.
Hey, before I let y'all go, how can folks catch y'all on social media, man? And also check, is the podcast about to be up and running too? We gotta know. The streets want to know.
Hey, look, streets. It's coming soon, man. You be able to go to youtube.com/Savannah, please. Break It Command on YouTube. You can search everywhere. DH on the mic on all social media platforms, man. It's pretty coming soon, man. We'll be back and ready to roll with some brand new content, some brand new perspectives, and some brand new things for the streets, man. I'm sure everybody be in. But thanks, Wally. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. What about you, D-Middy? How can they catch you on social media, my man?
Hey, man, I can't wait to get that train back rolling, man. He already know what it is, man. You can find me on all social media platforms. Yeah, as you can see, at Dee-Middy. You feel me? But yeah, man, I appreciate you all in there. Like, it's always love, man. Whenever you hit me, you know what it is.
Yeah, y'all cool as hell. Y'all already know what time it is, man. We're gonna get y'all back on. We'll probably get you back on for training camp. Keep it a buck.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right, man. All right, y'all gotta take it easy, man.
Peace and love.
Man. Always, man. Always. Oh man, they cool cats, man. I adore those dudes, man. Great individuals. You know, I mean, the Brandon Aiyuk, Jahan Dotson. I mean, I personally, I don't care. I'd take Jahan over Brandon Aiyuk, but I'm a loner though. I'm cool with that. I like being different. All right, man. The Commanders may not need to sign Aiyuk to be better, but the Washington Wizards signed a player that will hopefully improve their team. Before I get into all that, let me introduce my guest. Right now, I have Washington Wizards reporter Troy Haliburton back on the show. What is good, Troy, man? Welcome back, bro. I have you on this joint in a minute. What's good, my brother?
Well, hey, man, it's good to see you, my brother, man. It's good to be back on the urban sports scene, talking sports with you, man. Look, the Wizards, they haven't given us much good things to talk about over the last couple of years, so I completely understand why I haven't been making appearances on the show.
Yeah, I've been trashing the Wizards. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, look, man. It's been a rough last 2 seasons, to say the least.
Yeah, man. But they're doing like it's different. Last week we had a show and we talked about the Wizards last week, and this is where when they had Troy Weaver came back to the organization. I mean, they came back home to the DMV. And I was like, I love their hire. Like, it's like, I feel like the Wizards now have positioned themselves to have probably one of the better front offices in the NBA.
Yeah, I think that, definitely they have what I consider to be at least a standard front office in the NBA right now. They have a structure where you have Michael Winger, who's the team president. Right. You have Will Dawkins, who's the general manager. He's pretty much in charge of basketball operations and going out and drafting talent and signing free agents and stuff of that nature. And so adding Troy Weaver to the staff, I think will definitely boost the front office because Troy and Will Dawkins, they have a long-standing relationship going back to Oklahoma City. Yes. And so, when those people have those standing relationships already, these are people who trust each other, and when they're in draft rooms, or trust each other when they're in rooms looking at the board and deciding on what type of free agents they're going to sign. And so, I think just having more heads in the room and being able to give smart analysis is great for the Wizards right now.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I feel like you got that OKC vibe because you have those dudes that they helped build that organization. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And the Oklahoma City model is pretty much a good model for teams that want to I guess rebuild or retool. Mm-hmm. The formula is very simple: acquire as many draft assets as possible, and then draft well. It sounds easy, but it really is a simple formula.
It is, though. If you're starting from, if you want to rebuild, you know what I mean? That is the formula. You know what I mean? Like it is the formula. It's not like trying to get rich quick scam. It's like sign favorable contracts that you can probably wheel and deal off of to get more picks. And then when you got your core group, then you're ready to win.
Exactly. So you look at, a guy like Denny Avdia, who they signed to an extension last year. And the number that they signed him at was a very affordable contract. And so, that allowed them to get, a first-round draft pick in this year's draft. Mm-hmm. And also Malcolm Brogdon, who I'm sure they're going to try to turn into another asset.
There you go.
So, I really do like the fact that, they signed Jonas Valanciunas to a very affordable deal, 3 years, $30 million.
So you already know. You know where I'm going. You already know.
At $10 million a year, this is a guy who's going to be able to come in and be productive for the now. But, he is also going to be a very valuable trade asset for the future. And with him making under that $12 million number, there are going to be a lot of teams that, would be able to acquire him via their mid-level exception or different trade exceptions, because of that number. So, I think that was just a very shrewd, good business by the Wizards front office.
I think that I like I like how calculated they are. Because initially I was like, damn, I don't want them to get like Valanciunas because I want them to get I want them to play. Cause I like Marvin Bagley. I like what I saw from Marvin Bagley with the Wizards. So I said, I want him to get this opportunity. If he gets touches, I would like to see him kind of featured at center. But then I was like, you know what? In terms of like still accruing more draft picks, this is the perfect set because if he plays well, even this season, if he plays well, you may be able to trade him and flip him for another because a contender is going to want a Valanciunas.
Exactly.
A contender is going to want him. Like the Lakers, I think the Lakers want a Valanciunas. Like a contender is going to want Valanciunas. You know what I'm saying? People are going to want that pick. And if you're a good team, typically you may give up your first round pick for a player that can help you for a playoff run. You know what I'm saying? You may be willing to give up.
I completely understand. There are going to be teams, at the trade deadline who are saying, maybe they're in the fourth slot in the East or the fourth slot in the West, and they might say, we're going to have the 23rd pick or the 24th pick in the draft. Maybe that's worth trading away to get a big man who can come in and shore up. A lot of things on the defensive end as far as his rebounding and rim protection. The Wizards were the second worst rebounding team in the NBA last season. And so just to have, that requisite size in the front court, I think that, and Jonas Valanciunas, this is a guy who, he's only missed 11 games over the last 3 seasons. So he's also durable. So, I think that the Wizards, I liked what Marvin Bagley did last year, but I mean, I don't think that, I don't think that he could be a starting center in the NBA today. Okay, I think that he would be a good backup center. Okay. And so, I think that, JV can come out there and start off the games. He'll probably only play, 18 to 24 minutes a game, with the Wizards for this season. But at the end of the day, like, he's a good example for our young bigs. And, I think it is good to ease Alex Sarr in.
Okay, so this is my man Cameron. He said Jonas is going to mentor them young bigs and SARS and Vujacic and etc. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I definitely think so because he is a guy similar to Gortat. Like he knows the tricks of the trade as far as setting good screens and he played big too. He played big with the big man. I mean, with the point guards, like. He will set a good example as far as, just learning the little intangibles of being a center in today's NBA.
Yeah, I like him because he plays. I mean, I've always liked Valanciunas. I'm not going to lie to you because he plays big. He's like a traditional big. Like, that's what I do appreciate. Like, when he gets shooting the block. He also can stretch the floor. Yeah, he's gotten better. He's gotten better shooting the ball. He's gotten better shooting the rock.
34% from three for his career. Yeah. This is a guy I think that he has worked really diligent on being able to take that corner three. Yeah. And like I said, this is a guy who what I would compare it to for Wizards fans is the Robin Lopez experience, but better.
Yeah,
this is a guy. He's got a right hand jump hook, left hand jump hook. Yeah. He's got good post moves. Like he's just a really solid overall player who will be able to contribute next season for the Wizards.
So how do you think Alex Sarr will be able? Would you see him and Sarr play on the court together?
I think that's a possibility for sure because of Alex Sarr's defensive versatility. This is a guy. I'm not sure if he can guard 1 through 5, but I'm pretty sure he can guard 2 through 5. I wouldn't want him, isolated on a lot of those, smaller, quicker guards. Yeah, you don't want him. But I think that Sarr can definitely play, both with Valanciunas as like a 4-man, or he could be the center playing next to Kyle Kuzma as a 5-man.
How long do you think Kyle Kuzma lasts in DC?
I think he's going to be a Wizard for the foreseeable future. Because I don't see teams willing to cough up 2 first-round draft picks right now for Kyle. I think that maybe going into the season that a team will get desperate and try to want to make a move. But I don't think that a team will want to pull the trigger, especially when you're looking at the next 2 drafts being as loaded as they are. Teams aren't just going to be giving up first round draft picks in the offseason. So I don't think the market is really there for him right now. And honestly, another thing, I think that Kuzma it's good to have an adult in the room for the Wizards.
Okay.
You know, I think that since he's been there, like he's been showing like, you know, very good signs of leadership. Even when Brad was here.
No, he
you
was.
know, like he's showing to be a guy who, you know, is an adult in the room. He knows how to, you know, get across to the younger fellas. He knows how to go out, have a good time. But you know, like they're not staying out late. They making it to shoot around in the morning.
They're making it.
He's a good example.
No, he's been Kuzma. Kuzma is like, it's interesting because I just feel like there's no way he's getting 2 first rounders. I agree with that. There's no way. I know I've heard
possible,
people,
but
you gotta be a bad
that might be one of them 2031, 2033.
Yeah, you gotta be one down in the future. Like you ain't down the road. You ain't getting none of these Cooper what's that? Cooper
Flag.
Thank you, Cooper Flag and folks like you're not getting that. The Harper's kid. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, definitely not happening.
You're not getting that. Nah, not at all. But I do think that like a first, you probably get a first for him. But I think you can get a first for Kuz, but depending on the team, it goes back to what I was talking about with even with Valanciunas, or even like, a good team, a team that feels like they're on the cusp of being special. They may think that Kuz is that piece that can help them get to the championship, where they may give up a first. I just don't think Kuz is like, I know because a lot of people like use the Bridges argument about what Bridges got and try to compare him to Kuz, and I'm like, they're 2 different players. There are 2 different players,
and they play different players.
Yeah, and they play one. No knock on Kuz. One will do whatever it takes offensively and defensively to win a basketball game. And he doesn't have to take the shot. Like he doesn't care about. He'll just play his role, but he plays his role at a high level. Like he's an act. You know the statement, like an actual championship type of player, like a player that can help a championship team. That's Mikal Bridges.
You know, for sure. I think that Mikal Bridges is a star in his role.
There you go.
So
there you go.
You know, like he's a much more consistent 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
He's a better on ball point of attack wing defender. You know, I think that, you know, Kuzma is definitely, I would say, a better shot creator and ball handler.
Yeah,
definitely. But you know, like on certain teams, on a good team, like, you know, like they're not going to need for Kyle Kuzma to be coming up running isolations and pick and roll.
No, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's about your ego. Can you be cool with that? Like, because Mikal Bridges is cool with that. Like, he cool with that. Like, he go to New York. He gonna be cool with playing. All right, I'm gonna wait in this corner. All right, Brunson, find me. He's gonna be cool with that.
No, for sure. Like I said, I think that he's a star in his role.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that really the Wizards, when you look at, you know, the players that they've drafted over the last 2 drafts, you know, these are players that have a lot of those same qualities, like Bilal Coulibaly. You know, he's a guy who, you know, is still growing, and you know, he showed to me great basketball instincts last year as a rookie. You know, like that turned to me was a very solid draft pick. And so, you know, if they got 3 draft picks coming in this year, and so, you know, if they can just hit on 2 of those, all right, now we're kind of cooking as far as, you know, building up a stable of young prospects. And so, you know, we're 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I was like, wow, you mentioned Bilal. I remember before the draft when I heard they drafted another European player, I was like, oh, here goes another Jan Vesely. That had to do my homework. So I went back and looked at his clips, and I looked at his game. I was like, I had to apologize on social media. I was like, yeah, I like him. I had to stop. I like him. To your point, then and then what I saw, you know, in terms of a young man playing like overseas, and then it translated because he plays with a certain type of flair and because I think when you come from overseas, you got to play with an anger. If that makes any sense. You can't come in here playing like finesse especially when you're a wing player. You got to play with some anger. Like if you're gonna, like, you got to show that you want to bang on somebody. Like you're ready to do damage. And when I saw him, I was like, when I saw clips of him over in France and then seen him in the NBA, I was like, okay, yeah, you're definitely what I thought you were. And like to your point, he plays a smart brand of basketball. He's just a smart basketball player.
Yeah, no, he's a smart basketball player, and you know, like I guess he's going to be turning 20 going into this season. He's still very, very young. He's still literally growing as a player. Like there are reports that, you know, he's coming in about 6'8", 6'9" now. He was 6'7" last year when they drafted him. You know, he's going to develop his body physically. And this is a guy who I think that has a very high ceiling as far as what he could possibly be. I think that he could be on that Mikal Bridges track.
I can see that
4 or 5 years.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. My man George said someone will get desperate during the season and reach for Kuzma because he's going to be one of the only blue chip players available that can really help a team.
Now, I think that once we get into the season, I think that the trade market will kind of open up a little bit because there will be teams who are, will be able to convince themselves that they are, a Kyle Kuzma away from making, a run in the playoffs. And so with his affordable salary too, I think he's making about $25 million a year. That right there is for it. That's prime.
That's good money, man. That's
really good money. That's prime. I could be the third piece on a really good basketball team.
Yes, that's a bargain for real. In today's and now with these contracts, that is a bargain.
It definitely is a bargain. These contracts are going absolutely man. They collect their bags, man. But
bro, I'm with you getting your money. I'm like some of you not average players in the NBA game, not in real life, but you know what I mean. Like y'all getting paid, bro.
Yeah, man. Isaiah Hartenstein signed.
Come on, bro.
$83 million.
Bro, for like a hustle player.
Yeah,
a hustle player, basically. No knock on you, bro. Get your money. But I'm like, for a hustle player, I'm like, yo, some of y'all have left the game way too early. Hey, Cavs say Kuz has been safe since Denny got traded. Do you believe that he's safe because of the Denny trade?
I think that those things are mutually exclusive. I think that the Wizards are just looking for the best possible deals. And so, with the Denny deal, the reports were coming out that they were looking for that third first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And so, to be able to get the 14th pick in this year's draft, I think that really helped them as far as especially resetting the timeline for the team. So when you look at Denny, his extension, the last year of his contract is 2028. And so, with them pretty much resetting that timeline. So now we have a set of rookies who will be going into their second contracts in 2028. We got, very much affordable labor for these young players. And if they're able to come in and contribute, this could, we really might be cooking with grease.
Yeah, I think they are, man. I think the Wizards are in a good situation. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really think they're in a good situation, better than I've seen in a long time for this organization. So, also, my man Todd said I can see them trading Kuz next year to Sacramento if they. Oh, hold on, let me put it out here. I can see them trading Kuz next year to Sacramento if they are unable to re-sign Fox. Kuz in an unprotected 27 first-round pick. Oh, they signed Fox. I don't care about it. Go ahead.
I think it's very interesting that the Sacramento has really been reported as one of the Kuzma teams.
Yeah, I know, right?
But to me, I actually know some people who are in the Sacramento Kings organization, and so if they wanted to sign Kyle Kuzma, they could have signed him last year. I think that they evaluated for what they wanted. And went out and gave that money to Harrison Barnes. I think they're happy with Harrison Barnes. They could, if they wanted to sign Kyle Kuzma, they could have done that last season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know I've heard about Detroit being interested in Kyle Kuzma, but I know he's from that area.
Yeah, I think that with them signing Tobias Harris, I think that pretty much solidifies that role. NBA free agency and really the trade market right now, it's like a game of musical chairs. Yeah. And so, when the music stops, you gotta go grab a seat because some people are gonna be left standing up.
No, I agree. It's just interesting. I'm all these landing spots for Kuz, and I'm like, all right. A couple questions before I let you go. So also, you got Tyus Young too, also a good solid player. Surprised they really traded him last year, but it is what it is. What do you think they're gonna do with him this season? Because I know they're gonna trade Malcolm Brogdon eventually. So they should be able to trade. Because he played well for them to me. So I thought he could
with Tyus, I think that this is a very precarious position because he wants to get paid starter money. Okay, but right now there just isn't a starting point guard job for him available in the NBA right now. No. There are I think that he is better than a couple of starting point
Oh, I
guards.
agree. Yeah.
These are like young players, like on rookie contracts. Like, so they're not going to come in and bring in like Tyus to come in and start over them. Like, I really don't see the team that is going to give him, that he wants somewhere between $17 and $24 million. And, I think that ultimately, I think that the Wizards will probably try to re-sign him to an affordable contract, and then try to table those trade discussions in the future. Like I said, like when the season starts, there might be teams who might get desperate and might want to make a move like that. But as for right now, I just don't really see the team out there that is going to be like, oh, we're going to give the Wizards, a young player or draft capital to, give Tyus Jones $20 million. I just can't see that for right now.
I get you. So out of the players that we've mentioned a little bit, like in terms of the players who were the players they signed, also the players they acquired in trade, or players that they were on the contract on the contract last season or coming into this season, who do you feel like will get traded?
Well, let's see. I think that Malcolm Brogdon, if I were him, I would definitely not be calling a DC realtor. I don't think he's gonna be, he might get a little corporate apartment or something to stay at if he want to go work out or something.
Get an Airbnb.
Yeah, get a nice look long-term Airbnb. Like for real. Landry Shamet, I think that
good one.
I think that he could possibly be on the move. I heard that there are teams that are interested in him, but it doesn't really appear to be any deals imminent at this point.
Yeah.
I think that the Wizards will definitely have to, have another one of those showcases at the beginning of the season.
No, I agree, because he's he's not. I don't think his value is as high as it used to be back in the day. He doesn't look like the same shooter, to be honest with you. But yeah, hey, Troy, man, it's been good having you on, man. I'm gotta get you back, bro.
I appreciate that. Well, hey, man, look, we got the Wizards, like they were down for a couple of years, man. But look, I feel the tide shifting, and I honestly feel like, it's good for Wizards fans and the Wizards community to actually see a vision. Mm-hmm. And so, we've been like kind of, in this abusive relationship, with the way that the front office has operated, over the last decade or two, where, they just kind of seem all over the place. 1 minute they're, trying to trade for young players, and then the next, they're trading for Kristaps Porzingis, but then they're getting rid of Rui Hachimura. Like, it just didn't really make any sense.
I know.
But now, like, I feel like the front office has set a clear path that, by the time 27 and 28 come around, these young players that we're drafting should be going into their second deal, and we really should be looking at a crop of valuable assets on the court, and possibly to then start making trades to go get that big next piece.
No, I'm with you. I forgot to ask you this question. All right, John Wall, would you be cool with John Wall coming back to the city?
Yeah, I would definitely be cool with John Wall coming back to the city. I really want him to get an opportunity to get back in the NBA. I think that the best way for him to do that would, go to the G League and really go out there. Like for him, he needs to go out there and get 20 assists. He needs to go out there and show that, that he can still beat defenders off the point of attack, mm-hmm. and get downhill and really, be that, Chris Paul type of point guard where you're, spoon feeding everybody. Mm-hmm. I think that he got caught up towards the end of his career trying to, play like these dynamic, like the Damian Lillards and Kyrie Irving types, when, I think that his game is much more suited to be like a Chris Paul floor general type. Like, I think that he can still come out and get you a double-double, with 10, 11 assists per night.
No, I agree. I feel like his career was cut short. I have issues with the NBA. I think they play games and blackball certain people. But anyway, it is what it is. Hey, Troy,
well, at least his checks cleared though too. Look, they
paid
cleared $40 million to go away.
No, he get paid, but he a hooper. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to take out Hooper, man. He a Hooper for real. So
I think that if he's ready to humble himself and do what Isaiah Thomas did last year. Isaiah Thomas had a stint in the G League, and then he got back to the show. So I think that John, that's my man. I think he's got one more run in him to get back to the show.
I want him back in the show. I advocate for him all the time. All right, I lied. There's one more. I do got another question. I lied.
Keep him going. Look, come on, man. Look.
OKC joint, bro. Like, so OKC, obviously there's an OKC dynamic. Yo, everybody been trying to get KD back to DC, bro. How can this unit do it? Can this unit do it? I mean, they got everybody.
Look, man, if KD comes back to DC, then I think that something very much went wrong with what's going down in Phoenix. I think, to me, I've been reporting it since back in 2016. That KD never wanted to come home, and it has nothing to do with basketball. This is a dude who's a real hometown hero, and so he's also a dude. He's super nice. Like, it's hard for him to tell people no, and for him to be back home in the area, having folks being able to pull up on him, having all types of requests and stuff. I think that it's just not something that he is interested in dealing with. And so, I just don't think he ever really considered ever coming home to play.
Yeah, he hasn't, though. He hasn't. That's true. My man Todd said John Wall to Minnesota. He said, and John Wall could be nice.
Yeah, I think that is a spot where John could go out and be able to get minutes. They drafted Rob Dillingham, but I love Rob Dillingham too. But it's going to be tough to be able to rely on a small point guard rookie playing in deep into the playoffs. Like, I think that they would definitely want a consistent veteran proven presence to be able to at least come in there and give them 10-15 minutes a night.
Yeah, didn't have ain't about passing. He's about scoring. He ain't about passing. He ain't about passing. Oh no, my man George said John Wall should do the big three. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nah, see that look. I think if he wants to get back into the NBA, I think that he might have to go sign up with the Capital City Go-Go and just come out there and,
that's not bad,
and like I said, I need to see like 20 assists from him to show that he can still be a floor general.
Now, hey, Troy, how can folks catch you on social media, man?
Man, they can catch me on Twitter at Troy Haliburton. They can also catch me at my Substack. It's called Ideal Taste DC. That's Troy.Haliburton at Substack.com. I've been doing a lot of blog posts recently. Writing about some Wizards news and notes for free agency, and also going to be doing Mystics coverage on that blog too. So. Folks can go definitely check out and subscribe to my Substack, Ideal Taste DC.
And also, how was your event, man? I was wanting to go, but my show was on at the same time. How was the event?
Nah, man, the event was perfect, man. Like, it was better than I could have anticipated. Man, we really got a lot of the Wizards Twitter community to take that online discourse that we usually have, and we brought that in actual real life. And it felt good to, just put a name and face to, some of these people that we spend so much time like talking to each other, like Wizards Twitter. You probably communicate with some people on there more than the distant cousins,
Facts. All facts, bro. All facts, man. No lies told. Hey, Troy, man, thanks for being on, man. Appreciate you, homie.
I appreciate you, man. Look, keep doing your thing. Keep shining out here, man. Look, it's good to have nice things to talk about with the Wizards.
Always, man. All right, man. You stay blessed, bro.
All right, you too, my brother.
All right, my man. Yeah, Troy dope, man. Troy Haliburton. It's cool, man. My man Troy back. We had our audio podcast, and we always had Troy on. Now we got to have Troy on for the actual video podcast, man. Appreciate Troy, man. Appreciate my man DH. Appreciate my man Dee-Middy for being on the show. We got to talk Commanders. We got to talk Wizards. You know what I'm saying? My man Ray's was out, but yeah, we still held it down, man. Appreciate you all for chatting in, on the podcast. My man Taj, my man Cam. My man Eric, who am I forgetting? My man DJ, my man George. Who else? My man Marcus, who sent me something on IG Live. Appreciate all of y'all for tuning in, man. Appreciate you all. Anyway, man, before we end this show, make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel if you're watching it here. We try and get to 800. We got to 700. We try and get to 800. So if you're watching, hit that red subscribe button, like this video. Like I said, we are so close, man. Y'all getting us there. So close. But also make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. You can catch it. You also follow us on X, Instagram, all at Urban Sports Scene. Also our Facebook page, just search for the Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Again, you can check out our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. All right, man. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Wait, who my man? Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you. Man, Ty said, who is going to be the new counsel for the Bloodline? Hey, you're a WWE fan, who I am. I'm saying Haku. I like Haku. I said Haku. I like Haku. I think Haku because he gangster. Haku and he got his sons in there. You know what I'm saying? He gangster. Haku with the Bloodline would be kind of cool. Throw them ones up though. Throw them ones up. Solo holding it down, man. I love the gangster. I like the gangster Bloodline. Them dudes are like they savages. I like the savage mode. I'm a fan of that. But yeah, Taj, Haku. It'd be Haku. Somebody said Rikishi. I like the Rikishi one too, though. I kind of like it. But Rikishi would be with his sons. He wouldn't be with, but Solo is his son too. I think he would be with Jay and Jimmy though, right? I don't know. That's a tough one. Rikishi could do it though. But I don't know if I could take Rikishi as a gangster. I know as a gangster like Haku. Haku gangster. You know what I'm saying? Rikishi, used to dance in the ring. Haku was Ja one of them. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Anyway, y'all, thank you all for tuning in. You've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for Aegis, Yidig, Deuces. Your boy's out.